All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going through my own series of video presentations for the Rankin Technical College AWD Application and Web Development 1111 .NET Framework with Web Databases class. And I'm now doing a series of videos on our textbook for the class, ASP.NET MVC with Entity Framework and CSS by Naylor. I am now up to Chapter 4 of 18. As you can see, Chapter 4 is entitled More Advanced Data Management, and we will cover how to delegate categories correctly, how to seed the database with data, how to update the database using code first migrations based on code changes, and how to perform some additional data validation and do some custom error messages. So far we have updated our site to add some useful search and filter features, and we've been able to add categories and products to the site. Now we'll consider what happens when we try to delete entities. First of all, add a new category named Test Category, and then add a new product named Test. Test Product with any description and price, and assign it to Test Category. Now try to delete the Test Category by using the categories index page and confirm the deletion, and it should throw this error. So let's see if indeed that happens. So I'm going to come in and let's see, let's close a few things here. Let's just close everything. All right, and go back to the Solution Explorer. Let's go, we want to go to categories, it sounds like. So let's go to categories and let's open the page in the browser. We want to add a new category that says Test Category, and as you can see, it gets added and in alphabetic order. All right, and now we want to go over to products and create a new product name. We're going to call it Test Product. This is only a test. Let's make it $35.99, and we want to put it under Test Category. Create. There it is. All right, let's go to delete. It all looks correct. Click delete. I don't know what's going on. I did not get any errors, so let's double check and see what they have in the text. I created a category. I called mine just test, but I, add a new product, which I did. We wanted to do it by using the categories index page. Okay, I guess I didn't do that. So let's go back and do that. So we'll come back again to categories. And we're going to make this Test Category. All right. Then we're going to go to Products. And we're going to create a new Test Product. Under the category of, oh, notice we still have both those in there. That's not good. That's fine. We'll make it under the new one, Test Category. Create. All right. Then we're supposed to go back to categories. Let's do two things first. Let's go back to the list, and let's go to this test category that was here, and let's delete that. And it's gone. All right. Now what it said we were supposed to do, try to delete the test category by using categories index page. And that's where I am. So let's try to delete. And we do get an error. And the reason that we get that error is because we have a product under test category. All right, and we're trying to delete the entire category when there's still a product in it. So it says the delete statement conflicted with a reference constraint. Is that the same thing I got? Yes, it is. Looks like it at least. All right. So I am on page 60, it looks like. And the author says here, this error occurs because the database column category ID is used as a foreign key in the products table, and there's currently no modification of this table when the category is deleted. What that means is that a product would be left with a foreign key. It's, for lack of better words, it's what's referred to as an orphan record. It would contain an ID that no longer refers to a record in the category table, hence the orphan record status. To fix this issue, the code created by the scaffolding needs to be updated so that it sets the foreign key of all affected products to null. Use the HTTP post of the delete method in our categories controller, and we want to add this. So we want to go to our categories controller. We want to find the delete method. And we want to go to the post, I believe it said, delete method. So after we've got category right here, so we're going to add our new code right there. So what this is doing is it's telling us to work its way through the products table, and any product that's associated with that particular category that we're about to remove, it's basically saying set its ID to null, which in other words means that that product does not have a category associated with it. So we are going to save this. We are going to run this again. And I'm going to, I don't know if it'll work like this, but no. So let's run it again. I guess we didn't do a run here. We saved. We haven't built in a while, so let's rebuild the solution. Let's put a comment in here too. And we'll say set any product, set the category ID of any product associated with the category that is about to be deleted to null. I should do it. So let's save one more time. Let's run this, and we don't want to run it from here, of course, from the controller. So we want to go over to categories let's go over to our categories index, view that in the browser. So you saw the error when we did this before. So from our categories index, we're going to go in and we're going to now attempt to delete the test category. And we click delete, it's gone. All right, we no longer get that error. Okay, exactly what we wanted to have happen here. All right, let's continue on. Enabling code-first migrations and seeding the database with data. At present, we have been entering data manually. You know, that's okay when you're first starting out, but let's face it, if you had thousands of products, that would not be really good unless you had somebody else who was willing and able to input the data for you. So it says there, seeding is used to programmatically create entries in the database and control the circumstances under which they are entered. So the author is going to show right now, as mentioned here, how to seed the database using a feature known as code-first migrations. All right? And as it says, that is a way of updating the schema based on code changes made to model classes. We will use migrations throughout the book from now on. First thing we're going to do is update this so that a new database is used for testing. And that's always a good idea. We've got a database right now that works. So rather than overwrite the one that works, even though it probably would be okay, why not create another one? We can always remove the original baby store one if we want to. All right, so we're going to add this new stuff, and we're going to go in and put it in our root level web config file. We've already got those connection strings. We added one. We actually put a blank space in here. And here we're adding another one. Now, that attached DB file name there, that should work a little better than it did before. Alright, and let's make sure it said baby store 2. And there's a space there. I don't even know how they got that either. So hopefully everything that's in there is correct. Let's save and let's close that. I don't like to have that web config file open any longer than necessary. Although the connection string is shown over multiple lines, be sure to keep it on a single line in Visual Studio. Well, the provider can go on a new line, and that's what I did. Now, we're going to, for enabling code-first migrations, and with some of the stuff that we're going to end up doing in this particular chapter, we're going to be using the package manager. And we're going to be using the package manager from the command line. So, the console. So it says open that by choosing View Other Windows main menu. And I don't want to go on and on about this. But if I choose View and I go to Other Windows from the main menu, you'll notice that down here someplace, there's Package Manager Console. If I don't like to do that, I can go up, close a couple things here. I can go up and right mouse click on my project name and go to Manage NuGet Packages, or I can go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console. That's the one that I chose. And it comes up here. I get PM, which is my Package Manager Console prompt that I get. And I'm at the command line now. The author has chosen to do the majority of his work here in the console. Some people hate that. They find that very hard to work with. If you're a Linux or Unix person, you're probably really used to using the console. So again, it just depends. All right. The first thing to do when using migrations is to enable them. For the database context, you want to update the schema 4. If there's only one context, it's optional. In this chapter, we're interested in the product and category. So they want us to enter this command. Now I'm going to have to change mine from this a little bit. Because mine is bs2 dot dal dot store context. All right. Says if you have done this correctly, Visual Studio rather should respond like this. So let's see if I did it correctly or not. Usually if it's incorrect, your screen is going to turn red. All right. Says it threw an exception. Well, that is never good. End of stack trace where the exception was thrown at runtime. It's telling me here that the type initializer threw an exception. I'm not sure why it would do that. Let's do a build and build the solution here. Give it a second, and then I'm going to try to bring that command up again. That's BS2, that's DAL, and that's store context. That all should be correct. The only thing I can think of is if I have a mistake in my store context here, which I shouldn't. BS2 models, BS2 DAL. That looks correct to me. I am now, as I should be, inheriting from the DB context. It says migrations have already been enabled. All right, so I'm taking for granted that it's actually okay. We're going to find out, though, as we go on. Enabling migrations also adds a new folder named migrations, which contains a new configuration.cs file. Let's see if I got that. There's my migrations. There's my configurations.cs file. All right, that always looks, it's good to see that. Next, add an initial migration called initial database, by entering the following command in the package manager console. I believe that there's nothing special about the name initial database, but usually, if it's the first time you're doing it, that's a name that most people seem to use. Still is saying throw an exception, which I don't like. It should create a new file in the migrations folder. And it did not. I'll try running it again and tell me, see if I get the message again that it's already been done. I'm going to try to see what happens if I try to Google this error. Going out to Stack Overflow to look here. Connection string. It says name should be name. Oh, let's see. text. Try to make sure these two are virtually identical to one another the way that they're set up. Space there, but I don't think that would matter. Space there, and that shouldn't matter. I don't see anything that should preclude this from working. I'm wondering if it's because here it looks like it never really created a database. I've got my tables, but I don't have a database. Could be what the problem is. Name should be lowercase name. Didn't even see that in there. Name, name, name. So that's okay. Try moving it before configuration. And it worked. Okay. First element after configuration must be config sections. Oh, it is. But I'm going to try to see if this does anything. If I move this, so I'm moving that connection strings. Now moving it before. The other thing is, let's get rid of those spaces I put in there. There. Well, let's do this. Doesn't like something I just did here, so. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of the blank lines. Alright. And they talked about moving this here above this. I don't know if that's going to work or not, so we'll try it. right before, moving it right before the slash configuration. Okay, so where's that slash configuration? Right there. So instead of the top, moving it down to the bottom. Let's do that. We'll save. And I'm going to try it again. See if I get the same error. Still getting the same error that it's throwing this exception. This is not a good thing, as you'd realize. I'm going to try to track this down, and rather than wasting your time watching me try to track it down, I'm already at 26 minutes, so I'm going to stop with part 1 of this, see if I can figure out what the error is, and kind of hit on from there. So I'll be back with part 2 shortly.